Hello. This is the Fight Back podcast, hosted by exercise scientist Georgia Berry. Here you'll find a series of honest conversations about martial arts and mental health. My guests and I explore the statement that every martial artist has heard. Martial arts saved me. How and why do combat sports save people? Listen to find out. Okay, before you get into today's episode, I have a super important favor to ask you. Please either click on this link and check out the more detailed video or head straight to the GoFundMe page. We're looking to raise money to host an international conference for trauma-informed martial arts in order to create a code of practice, an international best practice standard, so that we can make trauma-informed martial arts accessible around the world. If you listen to this podcast, you already know that martial arts has the power to save lives. We're looking at doing that clinically and on a huge global scale. Okay, I'm talking about getting government funding in various countries, creating teacher training so that new people can become accredited as trauma-informed martial arts instructors, and making this a viable source of therapy for all the people who really need mental health support right now. And after COVID, now is the time to act. Okay, so check out the GoFundMe page or click the video to check out more information to find out what the money's going towards, and also to hear about the challenge that I'm going to be doing in order to motivate everyone to raise this money. And
I first reached out to as a form of gender empowerment, to sort of revalue the woman's body as a source of strength in a patriarchal context. But the men too gravitated towards the classes. And I learned a great deal about the vulnerability of the men in these situations, where the boys actually had a harder time getting to the gym because of the gang violence. They were viewed as a potential threat or an enemy by police or other gangs from other neighborhoods, and couldn't travel freely across the city. So just like the girls, they really lacked opportunities to develop their strength and safe spaces where they could show their own vulnerability. So the gender empowerment program expanded. We work with both boys and girls in these neighborhoods, and older people as well. It's intergenerational, so all ages. And when we say gender empowerment, we mean everyone. We mean LGBTQ, we mean men, we mean women, we mean non-binary, recognizing healing trauma, we talk about restoring a sense of control
Mm-hmm.
and restoring a sense of autonomy. I could go in and try to run everything from the top down, but it doesn't restore autonomy and control. And the very process of the gene has to be democratized in that sense. And the real stakeholders are the ones that have ownership, or that program will die. I'm only there when I get sabbatical for research leave, or when I'm there for summer vacation and winter break. Otherwise, I have to come back to Wisconsin to teach at the university. And so also from a practical sense, it's really important that they're in charge of the program. It does work well, I think, from a trauma-informed kind of perspective. Initially, I was scared to turn over this control because I was between kind of bodybuilders over, and I would come back and everybody would be trying to lose weight, and there would be mirrors everywhere. Trying to explain that structure sense of self in terms of their, and so context of pandemic in particular, many of the body image ability in their body have exacerbated. So that's what I'll be working on there. We also asking questions about the evolution of image in us, how our views of what strength looks is gendered, what we that's on the body, and also be looking at the intervention research to see if the gym increases divisions or cleavages or manage the boundaries between different neighborhoods and create new kind of community. And what that becomes creating a disciplining one for people. So as I got involved in founding the gym, I decided if I wanted to do it right, I really had to understand what gendered body norms are in this context. And I found a sort of dearth of literature about that in El Salvador. And then I had to understand exactly how the gym was interacting with the community political dynamics at the local level as well. So that's what I'm working on now. And it's just at a beginning phase, and it's going in a lot of different directions with different programs in different communities as well.
And when you say gendered body norms, that means like the assumption that men have muscles and women don't, and you know how your stomach should look and your butt should look and things like that. Is that right?
Yeah, I think there's a variety of qualities and characteristics and capacities and roles that we tend to associate as masculine and feminine. And so I want to explore how people make sense of their own body in that context that
patterns that our bodies are meant to do. And so they're not so how quickly can you react to something, and if you're not reacting fast enough, then you're going to lose the game. And it all comes within what you want to control at the pace that you want to go at. And I think that's so empowering for people to have movement practices that they resonate with, because that nobody's going to exercise if they think that the only way to exercise is to run and they hate running, or play football and they hate football, or whatever it is.
Absolutely. I think there's a saying that kind of captures that, and I won't get it right, but it's don't ask a fish to climb a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all made for something. And it's just, if you haven't found it yet, you just haven't tried enough different modalities of movement. Because it's out there, what your body is made for. I'm under 5 feet tall. There's a limited repertoire of sports
get involved with this project. Sounds fantastic. I'm sure a lot of people will want to help.
I would love it if everyone visit our website at pesasypoder.org. That's PESASYPODER. Pesas, E, spelled with a Y, poder.org. I would love it if you look at the website. We also have links to our partner NGOs that are working on the ground as well. I'd love you to explore those. And I'd love you to learn more about El Salvador in particular, which is the place that has stolen my heart. And now that I'm dedicating all of this work to heal. So please learn about the intergenerational struggle of El Salvador, going back to the Civil War and into the present.
Do you have any, I'm guessing there's probably resources on the website, but do you have any book recommendations around that if anyone wants to really dig into it? But anyone, I mean me, I'm kind of fascinated now.
Okay, I have so many book recommendations, but I'll start with a pitch for my book.
Okay.
So if you want to understand the migration route and contemporary situation, my book is called The Migrant Passage: Clandestine Journeys from Central America. And Georgia, I will get you a copy.
Thank you.
I had to ship it to you. That would be one I would like to pitch. There are a few books. I'm looking at my shelf. Oh, hold on.
We're getting a real life view of the book here for anyone who's just listening to it. So.
Not my book. This is, I think this is a wonderful update on the politics of El Salvador and the contemporary situation. It's called After Insurgency, Revolution and Electoral Politics in El Salvador. It's by Ralph Sprenkels. And then I've got a fabulous book that I just read, running to my bookshelf. So this is the book that I assigned for my class this semester to the students, and it's a memoir rather than an academic analysis. So this might be the best book for people who are just getting started. And this is called Unforgetting, a Memoir of Family, Migration, Gangs, and Revolution in the Americas by Roberto Lovato. So those are some of the books that I've had on my bookshelf just very recently about El Salvador. But yeah. I could give you a long list. If you want a list, I'll make you a list to post on your website.
Please, we'll put it in the show notes along with the website link. But I think it's it's been a time, the pandemic, I think, seems like a lot of people that I've spoken to anyway, started trying to learn languages and things like that. A lot of people are learning Spanish. It's a good time to really learn where some of the countries who, will resonate with all of these words that you're learning. I think it's a beautiful way to tie things together if that's something that people have been doing. Like I've even been doing that. I think it's common.
I think it's wonderful. And I think that there's something really important about El Salvador that we overlook, which is that we already de facto live in a society in the US that's very deeply integrated with Salvadoran society. That there's been many, many decades of mass migration to the United States, to the point where if you go to El Salvador, it's rare to meet someone on the street that doesn't have a family member in the United States already, or doesn't have a deep kind of social tie or link to the United States, or an experience here already and has already returned either through deportation or voluntarily. And so it's a dollarized economy. Our political economies are closely linked. Everything we get here in terms of media is also available there. So, people are receiving social media, Facebook, all of these things. I'm in touch every day with people there and back and forth. And so this idea that the problems there are disconnected from the problems here, I think is something that we really have to attack. That there are clear inequalities, and many of these problems are sort of felt more forcefully there or experienced more harshly there, but we're already connected. So
I think the message, learn more about El Salvador, is already pretty clear, but I always like to give everyone an opportunity. You have an audience of, I would say it's a split. The audience to this podcast is largely female, but there are a lot of men who also listen to this. So if you want to say anything to everyone, this is your moment to just spread your whatever message you would like to.
Please visit our website at pesasypoder.org and help us strengthen these communities. Strengthen muscles, but also strengthen communities. It's really important.
Absolutely. Don't forget, I talk about this on the podcast a bit, but when you help other people, you really help yourself, not just in helping us find ways that we can apply some of this learning to our own societies, but also just even on an individual basis, right? You're going to get such a rush of dopamine, you're going to feel so great, and you're going to literally strengthen your immune system when you help other people too. So even if you look at things from a fully selfish point of view, I think it's a wonderful thing that you can do for yourself and for others.
Comes back faster than good karma.
Yes, yes, I love that. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast, Noelle. I've had a great time. I've learned so much, and I'm super excited to get reading your website and books. Have you thought of something to be grateful for today? What was it? I'm grateful for the amazing women that train with me at the Fight Back Project. I'm grateful for Nari and the beautiful song Shape Me, which is heard at the beginning and end of every episode. And I'm grateful for you, for listening to this show and helping martial arts keep saving lives. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you'd like to like and subscribe, oh, that's a bonus.
You need to know that nobody shapes me but me. Don't gotta tell you what my name is, I don't gotta explain it. Walk in the room, hear a boom erupting like I'm famous. I'm here shedding shells, I'm shameless. I fear nothing, no complacence. Walk too many tight ropes with no hope, so I became this poster they hold over all the heads of trauma holders. You don't need to know my history, I move boulders. Atlas shrug, cause I lifted the weight up off his shoulders. No pretense of defense, move first like chess soldiers. This goes deeper than empowerment, cause I'm the one that power it. Physical meets mental, challenge me to keep devouring. If I can't change the scenery, at least I change perspectives. No longer isolated, but elevated and selective. Darkest places become beautiful spaces. This is where rage meets patience, meets power meets gracious. Meets, we're so glad you came, and the feeling is contagious. When you the walking impact of intended bad intentions. When you the manifesting of collecting all they tensions. You the soul and body hold it all and still remember. But I'm a work in progress, testament to all contenders. Forgot what it was like to have control over self. Forgot what it was like to be the one in charge. Forgot in my reflection I could see all my wealth. Forgot that with my bare hands I break all these bars, barriers and obstacles. They can't cage me, they can't chronicle all my experiences and reduce them to appearances. When I was truly beaten, gave myself clearances to fall down, mess up, and get myself back up. I'm not looking for clovers cause I don't believe in luck. Damn, you a badass, I heard them say it clearly. Why thank you very much, I know now I'm not weary of what's next for me. Cause I expect to see growth like I was planted, watered, fed, and bloomed to be. The positivity and accountability, knowing they won't step if I'm the agent of my agency. I think I found my voice again, huh? I think I found my voice again, huh? I'm not sorry, you're the end where I begin. Boundaries, I know them well. Take a breath and meditate. Who is she? I know her well. Now I get to open gates. 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't need your permission. And if you get uncomfortable, then use your intuition to know that I won't stay where respect is ever missing. And everything I do, that's me making decisions. It's truly underrated, the value of self-worth. Forgot that I was rich from the moment of my birth. A penny for my thoughts, no really, you can't afford it. You cannot buy my story, rewrite it, or record it. You cannot buy my story, rewrite it, or record it, huh?